What's going on, YouTube? So now this is actually going to be part 2 of the video. Part 1 is going to be my overall thoughts and review. Part 2 is going to be maintenance. So we're going to fire this thing up, let the oil get nice and warm, pull it back in the garage and start pulling all the fluids and doing some greasing and general maintenance. Got the official engine warmer rolling, and I'll give this about 2 to 3 minutes and that oil should be nice and hot. Very good. I did not have the Polaris oil on hand, but I did have this Castrol 5W50. It's synthetic, and it is going to take 900 milliliters, which is practically the whole quart, give or take, for the engine. Now for the transmission, you're going to want to use this Polaris AGL fluid. This is Polaris's fluid that they use in a lot of their transmissions, and this little Outlaw 50 is actually separated engine oil and transmission fluid. For that, you're going to need 350 milliliters to fill that transmission. For your spark plug, you can't go wrong with a NGK plug. There is your model number. You will need, and I always put uni air filters in every ATV that I own. You can't go wrong. And there's your model number for that. Of course, these come dry. You will have to put oil in this. Either spray it on or soak it, kind of squeegee it, kind of pat it dry. Just a quick note. So first things first, we're going to take off your engine oil fill cap and also your transmission fill cap. Then we'll go underneath with a 17 millimeter ratchet and take both of our drain plugs off, which are underneath, and I will show you that right now. This is your drain plug for the engine, and that is your drain plug for the transmission. They are both 17 millimeters, and let's get them removed. Now, because my oil pan is a little bit too tall for such a little bike, and all of my jack stands are currently being used, I had to improvise, and I will lower this down flat to let everything drain out level. But I wanted to show you the oil plug first. This is actually your screen filter. And I will say all of the oils that came out this bike still look brand new, but you never know, it's been a few years. Tiny little something or another in there. So the filter did do his job. It is screening the oil. And just take note of how it goes in to the bottom of your engine. Also, the oil plug for your transmission, there's a crush washer on it. Make sure, let's see if you can see it. It's right there. Nope, yes. Make sure you put it back on your bolt. If not, it will leak very bad. So we're going to get our drain plugs and screen filter cleaned out and reinstalled, and then we will put our oil in. So we have our funnel going into our engine, drain plugs are in. We have our Castrol 5W50, and now we're going to fill it up to the manual recommended 850 milliliters, and then we'll see where does it actually end up on our dipstick. So let's fill it up. And let's see, it's 800 and 850. Now we're going to let it drain in. And of course, you don't need this contraption. You can just use a normal funnel. I just want to do this for the sake of the video, so we have an accurate measurement. If not, I'll tell you right now, there's probably about this much left in the bottom of this quart. So a little bit. So let's see where it falls in the dipstick. Don't know if you can see this, but it actually says tighten to check. There's your low and your high mark. Let's see where it's at. fully tight, and let's see. And right on the money. Now we're moving on to our transmission. 350 milliliters for this particular transmission. Let's see where 350 is going to be. We have 300 and 400, so right where this corner breaks. Have it off this time. And there's 3 and that might be right at 4, but I'm assuming the way this is gonna pan out is this will be filled to the top of the threads on your actual transmission. If you were to pull the plug, that's typically where they put your fill plug, is almost where your level is gonna be. It's an easy way to check the level as well, because there is a plastic plug. It does not have a dipstick. It's just a screw-in plug. So this is a little bit thicker, or it seems a little bit thicker, so let's give it a second to drain. Yep, it is literally right on the threads. Just gonna put our plug in, make sure you have your O-ring nice and clean. And now, since we have engine and trans, we will continue the flow and now go to our chain to see if it's in proper adjustment, and then lube it as well. Now, for the sake of the video, I am going to remove this wheel so I can show you what your chain specs should be with the backlash. Top of the chain is at 4 inches, and now let's move it up. And now the top of the chain is almost at 3 inches. Now you have 4 17 millimeter bolts that keep this hub from rotating. Then you have your one tensioner right here, and that is what controls the pivot. So now, well, that was not tight at all. Nope, not bad. Not a big deal. Now all 4 17s are loose, and we can start to adjust this. Deep socket 10 millimeter. Break that first jam nut loose, and then we can just double stack both of them and start to tighten. And take a note with your chain while you're doing this, because it doesn't take much to get you back in spec. So that actually might be enough right there. I am going to pull a measurement real quick and let you know. 3 1/2, 3 1/8, 3 1/2, 3 1/8. That way we're in between our 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch measurement. And make sure you're just on the outer nut. Sometimes you have to hold this with a open end wrench. This one is holding nice and firm, don't need it. And now tighten all of your 17 millimeter hub bolts, so we'll be good. So when it comes to oil in the chain, I'm just using a generic Power Lube multi-purpose lubricant. How convenient. From Napa, this chain is just a traditional roller chain, not an O-ring chain. So what I like to do, literally wipe it down, get it in the rollers. Next section, same thing. So now we are moving on to the spark plug. It's really easy to access. Just put this aside. Go ahead, break it loose. And let's just take a look what this factory plug looks like. Not bad, a little dark, I guess maybe a little rich. Let's get our new plug in here, as you can see. This is definitely something you want to do by hand. And also by feel. You're putting a spark plug into an aluminum head. And remember, when you put this plug in, you are going to be collapsing that crush washer. So it's going to feel progressive, and then it's going to stop. put our boot back on. And we are done. You want to make sure you get a really good engagement, a few clicks, and those few clicks are actually these threads right here. So now we're going to move on to our air filter again. The seat comes off like a traditional full-size ATV. Then you have two clips here, here. Comes out that way. Here is our factory really clean air filter. I guess I'll hold on to that as a spare. And here is our new uni filter. Now, what I like to do, because these air boxes don't seal absolutely the best, I like to put a little layer of grease around the corners, and that way it will help trap this in. So I'm going to get a little grease out, grease the edges of my filter, drop it in, that way I know it has a nice tight seal all the way around, full 360, and no dirt will get in that air box. And there you are, a fully greased filter all the way on the edges. So now we drop it in, we will know that it has a nice tight seal. Put this aside. Again, just put the front two pins in, and then you reach down and make sure both of your latches engage all the way and make a nice good click. That's it. That is how you change out your factory air filter. So now we're going to move on to our front suspension bushings. And you just want to give it enough grease to where it actually starts coming out. And you can see the old grease getting pushed out and the new grease being pushed in. And this goes for the same right here. Just turn your wheel full lock and it will expose your Zerk fitting. This is a little different. You do have a cap on here, so you're not going to be able to see. So you don't want to just completely load it full. But you want to at least get one or two good pumps in there. And that's good. Again, clean your Zerk fittings off so they do not get covered in dirt, which makes a mess. The last thing that I want to address is this squeaky steering stem. And I'm actually going to use the same all-purpose lubricant. I believe it to be okay to use on rubber surfaces for bushings, but do your own research. Do not use WD-40, I can tell you that much, because it will eat up rubber. And I can just tell you right now, it's much smoother now. More than the sound, it's the binding that it causes for a child, because they don't have a tremendous amount of strength, and this just helps them guide it and feel more confident when they're riding. There's also one more thing I did not include, and that is this breather box. There actually is a filter in here. Mine's completely clean, so there's nothing to show you. And then right here on the bottom of your fuel petcock is actually a small fuel filter. If you do get debris, it will catch it there first. And not in your carburetor, which will make this little thing stop. So that's pretty much all I have to show you here. I hope this video helps you. Please smash that like button, consider subscribing, and as always, thanks for watching, guys.